Intellectual property. This is an NPTEL course in which we cover the basics of what intellectual property is. Intellectual property deals with a variety of things. So we use the term intellectual property rights to cover the rights that protects intellectual property. Now this includes the legal rights which results from intellectual activity in the industry, scientific, literary or artistic fields. So when we talk about intellectual property rights, we are referring to those legal rights that result out of an intellectual activity, and that intellectual activity is either in an industrial, scientific, literary or an artistic field. Now we look at the details soon. Now intellectual property can manifest in different forms. So we have an inclusive definition which tells us that intellectual property includes literary, artistic and scientific works. It includes performances of performing artists, phonograms and broadcasts. It includes inventions in all fields of human endeavor. It includes scientific discoveries, industrial designs, trademarks, service marks and commercial names and designations, protection against unfair competition. So you can see it's a vast mix of different things. The idea is if you can have legal rights that manifest out of intellectual activity, then there is a regime to protect it. And the regime is what we call the intellectual property rights regime. Now, why should you protect IP? Intellectual property needs protection for largely two broad reasons. One, to give statutory expression to moral and economic rights of creators, the fact that what creators create has to be protected in their creations, and the right of the public in access to those creations. So there are two things. We want to protect the creators of the rights, and we also want to protect the users from using those rights. So there is the right of the creator and the right of a user. So only if the right is protected can both creators and users enjoy the right. The second argument for protecting intellectual property right is that protection of intellectual property right promotes creativity and the dissemination and application of its results, and to encourage fair trading, which would contribute to economic and social development. Now this is the second argument for protecting intellectual property rights. So you can see that now not just protecting rights of creators, we are also looking at the intellectual property right regime as a regime that promotes creativity and dissemination of the creations themselves. Types of IPRs. Now patents protects inventions, trademarks protect brands and logos which are associated with products and services. Copyright protects artistic, literary and creative works. Industrial designs protects aesthetic designs. Plant variety protection protects plant varieties and breeders' rights. Trade secrets protects confidential information. Geographical indications protect products that come from a particular geography which are peculiar to that particular territory. And layout of semiconductor chips protects the layout of IC chips. Who should study IP? Now, given this vast domain in which IP can apply and the fact that there can be intellectual activity in any of these domains, IP should be of interest for researchers and scientists, for marketers, for creative artists, designers, entrepreneurs, professors and students, engineers and technologists, management professionals. Syllabus for the course. We will first talk about the intangible economy, because IP makes a lot of sense in an intangible economy because these are intangible rights, and an intangible economy is something that has now come to prevail in the world around us. Then we look at the basics of intellectual property. We look at patents and cover a whole lot of things from ball pens to biologics. Then we look at trademarks, the impact of trademark in different industries. We look at copyright. Does it give somebody a right to copy? We look at also the unconventional IP. Now the IP universe is an expanding universe in the sense that there are new IPs being created and new IPs being pushed into the international regime for recognition. So we'll also look at, apart from looking at the classical IP, we'll also look at the new and the evolving IP regimes. We will look at enforcement of IP. How do you protect your IP right? We will look at IP for business, how IP can be a commercial or a profit-making asset. We will look at IP from the viewpoint of research and experimentation, which is what researchers and universities need to know. We will look at IP from a creative and entertainment industry perspective. And we will also look at the government's role in fostering IP. The Indian government had released a national IPR policy recently. So we will look at what the policy is on IP as well. And finally, we look at the importance of teaching IP.